Hey everybody, Ryan Schramm here on another community tour with you. Today we're going to be doing the Trestles District or the Trestles community, and this is a super special spot. A lot of people who love the Trestles District, they're looking for property that is basically the cheapest single family closest to the surf. And that's what the Trestles District has to offer. It's a community made up of primarily single family homes. There are a couple spots where there's duplex and triplex multifamily, but it's primarily single family, and its location is within the greater Southeast San Clemente. So the southeast portion of San Clemente is going to be inland of the 5 freeway. It's going to be the furthest south, so it butts up against Camp Pendleton, and that's what makes up Southeast. And Trestles is a little triangle portion of homes within that Southeast San Clemente. And so I'm parked here right now before we take off. You can see the Trestles community sign. San Luis Rey Park is here, and then the San Clemente Municipal Golf Course, which is a public 18-hole city course. And I'm not a big golfer. I like to do it, but I don't do it all that often. But my friends that are big golfers love this course. It's like really well renowned for being well kept, having good scenery. You know, there's a lot of ocean views, good ocean breezes, and then just like a good challenging course. So people love to play this course. And then you have this district of homes, Trestles, that are killer beach cottages and bungalows from a lot of them the 50s, 60s. There's some that have been made newer, but it's a mix and match of like those smaller cottages, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. Some have been enhanced to 4 bedrooms or more, but primarily you're looking for like that lower $1 million home in here. People want to get in for, you know, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. And there are homes that have sold for more, but it's a spot where somebody can get in and just be stoked to be by the surf. And, you know, the other thing that I haven't even mentioned yet is the hiking trails and the mountain biking trails that are back here off Pendleton, still in San Clemente, but behind Trestles District and behind Southeast San Clemente. There's some amazing mountain biking, single tracks, and hiking, and it's so easy to walk to Trestles or e-bike to Trestles. But that's really the identity of this neighborhood. So let's go check out some of these streets. You can see how everything lays out. And that's really what this tour is about. It's being able to kind of transplant you here virtually so you can see if like, yeah, that's a neighborhood that I'd really like to target or I'd like to move to, whether it's renting here or buying here. That's what I'm looking to accomplish today by putting these cameras on my car and cruising through the neighborhood. So First Street, Santa Ynez, you can see like what a cute picket fenced house, like amazing landscape. Like that's a quintessential beautiful Trestles beach house. Got some larger 2 stories in the mix here too. There's no height restrictions, there's no HOA. People, when they call or email me, they're like, we're looking for something without an HOA. Well, that would be this. This particular street is a little wider too. That's the drawback to some of the streets in the Trestles neighborhood. They're very narrow. So you know how it is in California, like people don't like to necessarily use their garage for cars. They're throwing surfboards and e-bikes and storing things in their garages. So parking becomes a little bit of an issue because you've got sprinter vans and golf carts, you know, that take up the driveway space, and then the other cars got to go on the street. So you'll notice when we drive through here, if the street is narrow and there's only room for kind of 1 driving car, it's because there's cars parked on the side of the street. But that just kind of comes along with the territory. So I mentioned to you that there are spots where there's multifamily. So as you get closer to the 5 freeway in El Camino Real, there's an alley. And along the alley, there is multifamily property. So that's where your apartment rentals, really killer investments along here too. If you're looking for like a good neighborhood to buy duplex or triplex in, maybe you want to live in one and rent the other, or you're just looking purely for income generating property, the Trestles District has some really good properties that we'll be looking at. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna weave in and out of all the streets, and you can kind of get an idea for like how this neighborhood lays out. This is Dominguez, the street name. And again, kind of more of the same. These cottages, some have been super nicely remodeled, like this house here on the left. Others are kind of more classic, like the one on the right. And then there's a house right now that's on the market that was had multiple offers and was overbid way above the asking price. It was listed for 1.2. I'm sure by the time you're seeing this, we'll know what it was closed for, but I heard that it got bid up to even 1.5 million. So listed at 1.2 because it was in original condition. There's not much landscaping or hardscaping, you know, and you go in there, the carpets are old, the countertops are Formica, and the cabinets are ancient, but really good bones to this property. And so it was listed for 1.2. They put it on the market. They intentionally, you know, set an offer review date 1 week later and said, we want to show it to as many people as we possibly can and see what this thing goes for. Because a lot of times you don't know what a house like this is worth when you price it until you get it on the market and you get it exposed to the masses. So I had several clients that looked at it and one client that wanted it, but we heard that it just got smoked up to 1.5 million and it's only 1,000 square feet. But the reason why that one did so well is because look where we're at. We're kind of more towards the top of the street, closer to the golf course. So you get the feeling of the golf course, which is big open space. It just makes it feel less crowded on this street. It makes it feel more open. The other reason is that had a nice workable lot. And the 5 does cut through San Clemente. So if you're sensitive to freeway noise, when we're going around and we're looking at the different neighborhoods, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be like, hey, this is a 7 out of 10, or no, this is a 3 out of 10. Like you can hear it, but it won't bother you. That's something that I'm telling and relaying to my clients all the time. So that particular house, when you stand in the front yard, for whatever reason, geographically, you couldn't really hear the freeway that much. Maybe it's because it's further away, but a lot of times it just matters what hillsides or what trees or other houses are between you and the freeway to see how much noise there is. So in the Trestles District, it is a little bit on the noisier side as far as cars are concerned from the freeway and El Camino Real, but it's still an extremely desirable neighborhood, like even considering that. And the reason being is price point. You know, if homes in here are selling for 1.2 to 1.7, homes in Southwest San Clemente on the other side of the freeway are selling from, you know, 2 to 10, with 2 being like far and few between anymore. So this neighborhood gives people an opportunity to still get in for a semi, you know, reasonable price point. And there are a couple of lots sprinkled in here, like this particular lot on the corner, listed for 1.2 million, a great opportunity to build a house with an ADU, you know, an apartment with a kitchen, get 2 properties on one, or just build an amazing, you know, single family residence. At 1.2 million, you can build a house, you know, something really nice for like the low $1 million range. You're into it for 2.5, and it's probably worth 3 million. So there's definitely some good opportunity in building something like that. That lot has been on the market for almost 2 months. At the time we're filming this, it hasn't sold. So maybe at 1.2, it's a little high. Maybe it needs to be closer to $1 million, but it's still in that range. Now this particular street that we're on now, this has a good, kind of like a good crown to the street. So I'm looking out in front at ocean view. The other street doesn't have that, we just came up didn't have ocean view, but this one does. And so that makes it kind of nice too, because if you're up toward the top of the street, you can get ocean view from your front yard or your second story. All right, now we're cruising down Buenaventura. This street is a little bit wider. So you can see, like, as we're going down, even with the cars parked, there's still room for 2 driving cars to pass each other versus having to pull off to the side. This is a beautiful street. It seems like kind of being more towards the center of the Trestles District. Like if we look at it on a map, and that's something you can do too, is send me an email and we can hop on a Zoom together. I'll pull up my maps from on the MLS and my different realtor maps that show these areas, and I can give you like a legend of San Clemente, and it'll get you basically like speaking the same glossary of terms and definitions so that we can start to figure out where you want to be. When you look at Trestles District on a map, it's a triangle like this. And so the homes more at the center here seem to have the wider streets, and they feel a little bit better. The edges are a little bit narrower, with the exception of Santa Margarita, which those properties back up. I'll take you there, but those properties back up to like nature preserve, and it makes it really nice because you have a gate right from your backyard. You hop on your mountain bike, you ride down to Trestles, or you ride up to the single track trails. So I want to take you over to Santa Margarita, and I also want to take you to Dolores, because Dolores is a really cool street with some history, so stand by and we'll head over there. Okay, so we're pulling up to Avenida Dolores, and you'll notice on this street it's got the yellow line up the center. And so this street's super wide, and I haven't verified this like up at the city or anything, but I was told that this street is super wide because it's actually how they used to access Camp Pendleton with a lot of the military equipment. If you think about like the big tractor trails pulling a tank or the different equipment that the military needs, I heard that this street was kept super wide for that very reason. So you could see plenty of space for parking and people to drive. And a nice street too, because you get the ocean view. Now that we've kind of crested here, you get the ocean view, which is awesome. And so right up ahead, I'm gonna pull off, and you'll be able to see there's one of the trailheads to pick up the hiking and biking trails that I've been talking about. And so it's part of the neighborhood here. It's super easily accessed. You can see it off to the right. They've got the big boulders there so that nobody takes a car, but obviously super accessible to all the California state parks and easy for mountain biking and hiking and all that good stuff. So really nice to have this nature, this preserve land back here as part of the Trestles community in Southeast San Clemente. And let's wrap this up by going down Santa Margarita, which is also coincidentally, that's what's gonna spit us out at Trestles. So we'll just make a left here off of Dolores onto Santa Margarita, and all the homes on the left here, they back up to that trail. So you've got the wildlife, you've got kind of the open space views. You also get a little bit of that Camp Pendleton activity, whether it's the bugle signaling the end of the day for the Marines, or some live fire exercises, different ordnances exploding. So you kind of get it all here. And that's what makes it unique and cool. It's a lot different. San Clemente is a lot different than your more, tracked communities like a Laguna Niguel, for example, that's all master planned and very much the same. Some people that like San Clemente say we like that it's not cookie cutter. And there's definitely no cookie cutter feel here in the Trestles District, Southeast San Clemente or Southwest San Clemente. And that's really what makes it nice. So as we keep driving along here, we pass a short street, Avenida Carmelo. Got some nice houses on it, a little bit of multifamily as well. But this is gonna spit us out here over by Carl's Jr., which has a big parking lot. And if you ever visited Trestles, you'll know like a ton of people park there. But once you live here, you no longer need to drive there anymore. And that's one of the most desirable features, is just how rideable and walkable living in this neighborhood is to world-class surf at Trestles. And included in that whole Trestles system, is San Onofre, which is a great spot to visit. You can back your truck up to the sand, get a fire pit, surf an amazing wave there, or even further south, with trails and having the camping opportunity down there. All of that is just a quick drive or ride away from living at the Trestles District. So if this has you intrigued, reach out to me, email me, let's hop on a Zoom and let's start kind of identifying the next property that's going to come on the market for you. Because as you can see, like listings that pop up in there, they're hot. They sell with multiple offers if they're priced right. And it's important to kind of be ready and poised so that when that next one comes up, we can make it yours. I look forward to hearing from you. Talk to you soon.